you can't be afraid to fail. I promise you, if you are afraid to fail, you will fail. You have to accept it as a thing. And because once you can accept it, you can let it go. But if you're terrified of failing, you will never get over it.
Welcome to The Mindful Agent, where real estate success meets health, mindfulness, and personal growth. Join me, Michael Coxen, top performing agent and broker owner of Magenta Real Estate, as I explore the intersection of wellness and business excellence, helping you thrive in both real estate and life. Today's guest is someone who blends discipline, mindset, and performance in a way that every entrepreneur and real estate agent can relate to. Brandon Bauman, aka Coach Bauman, is a Las Vegas-born golf coach whose journey took him from Big West Player of the Year at UC Santa Barbara to a professional player, and now to a coach with a rapidly growing following online and on the course. What makes Brandon special isn't just his ability to teach golf. It's the way he subtly teaches life through the game. From confidence and routines, to handling rejection, to managing pressure and staying present. His lessons on the course mirror the same challenges that we face in business and in entrepreneurship. Whether you've ever picked up a golf club or not, you'll walk away from this episode with practical strategies to improve your focus, your process, and your resilience, both in real estate and life. Man, we met via a family member you were teaching golf to. He thought I might like you. He also knows I'm not good at golf. This family member started beating me at golf when he was a young child, which he reminds me of constantly. So he said, check him out. He's got a good Instagram profile. So I did. And I started just on my own doing the lessons you teach, which are 15-minute golf lessons, right? That's your thing on Instagram, YouTube. And I started to learn a thing or two, but obviously golf is better done on the golf course, and reached out to you for lessons. And that's how we linked up.
Yeah. And I mean, that whole Instagram internet premise designed around 15 minutes is to basically let people know, like, if you're doing the correct stuff, you don't need too much time. We can keep a golf game together enough. Everybody can find 15 minutes. Obviously, it's going to take a lot more than that to become a player, but with just a little bit of effort in the correct direction every day, you can keep it together.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I wanted to invite you on the podcast. I feel like almost everything you say can apply to being a real estate agent and being an entrepreneur or whatever your goals are in life. That even just dedication on a daily basis or a regular basis, even if it's 15 minutes, meditation, script practice, golf practice. Yep. These same lessons apply. Tell me about your journey, how you got here. Walk us through the journey from you're born and raised here in Las Vegas to how you became Coach Bauman.
Yeah. Well,
that's Instagram fame.
That's an intro. Yeah. So born and raised here. Grew up actually kind of just down the street, back where the edge of the west side of the city actually used to be. It's not there anymore. And then started playing golf around 10 years old and was somewhat natural at it. And then just progressed through that. Started playing more and more, started playing tournaments when I was 14 or 15. Somehow got lucky enough to play well in the correct tournaments, kind of jumped to the national stage at that age. And I was like, whoa, we've got a chance to go to college. And it was always a strange dynamic between me and my mom in particular for this, because she was extremely heavy with good grades, good college, with good academics, basically learn your way, study your way up to the top. And I was never a bad student, but I had my sights on something else. So then trying to find a college that matched both golf and academics was challenging at first, because I'd bring her back a list of colleges and she'd be like, no, so this is not a good enough academic school or something like that. So we end up at UC Santa Barbara, and it was tough. It's a very, very difficult academic school. And just still through that day, through all those days, all I cared about was golf. I'd play keep my grades up enough to stay eligible.
Stay on the team.
Exactly. But in what you're talking about, the entrepreneurial side of stuff, I didn't realize I was talking myself into it at a young age, but my mom, we'd always have these conversations. And I'd be like, no, I'm going to do something in golf. Like we're going to end up there, whether I'm playing, coaching, caddying, something, I'm going to end up there. I would talk about that since I was like 15 years old. And now I'm here and it's like, holy crap. I ended up building something where she thought I needed to go become a lawyer. Sorry, Mom. But it fortunate enough for it to pan out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I the lesson she taught I heard was, about focus, and she wanted you to focus on academia, of course, and you're going to earn your spot in a good college like that. You did that.
Yeah.
And with her guidance and help. And UCal Santa Barbara, definitely a tough school. When I read that you went there, I was a bit jealous. Seems like a great place to go to college and play golf.
It was pretty good. Not gonna lie, living on the beach for 4 years was just fine.
Yeah. The nicest course I've ever played was there, and it was so long ago, and it was not a good day for me. But other than the beauty, it was right on the coast, and I wish I remembered the name of it. But I mean, it's beautiful.
But and through that whole thing, collected a few accolades, collected a few trophies, and it was it was a very similar process where about halfway through college, just how when I was 16 years old, halfway through high school, I was like, okay, I actually have a chance to try to go play professionally. So I did that and I played well, had a good showing, was able to get a couple mini tour cards. And unfortunately, finances become a thing and reality struck in and we all had to go through COVID. So just ended up getting tossed into coaching. Some stuff happened with my coach where he needed to retire through a biking incident. He's fine. Nobody panic. He's fine. But there was an opportunity placed in front of me where he was like, do you want to take over my book? I was like, yeah, I could give it a try. And we even had talks about me buying his whole practice from him. So actually obtaining the entire back of the range. I was 24 years old when this happened, and it's a big check. I mean, he was paying the golf course, I think, $65,000 a year, $60,000 a year in just rent. And so when we were talking about all this to a 24-year-old, I didn't realize how that's possible, how to make that work. So I said, no, let me just take over your book. That's when the other coaches came in and they've been there. We all just kind of work together in and around each other now.
Cool. I mean, that's incredible for a 24-year-old to be offered that. Obviously, he had a life incident happen.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I could imagine. Those are big numbers for anybody, especially somebody fresh out of college who maybe wasn't too good at math in school.
Okay.
But let's rewind back to college. You mentioned accolades. You're very humble. Big West Player of the Year.
Yeah, that happened sophomore year. Kind of out of nowhere. Played well in the fall. And then just absolutely tore it apart in the spring. I think there was a 3 tournament stretch, maybe 4 there was a 4 tournament stretch where the worst I did was second place.
Wow.
So I came out firing.
What changed from fall to spring?
A lot of it's confidence based. Something happened over that winter break where my swing clicked with the long irons for the first time ever. And I tell every single person I work with and a lot of people on the internet that if you're struggling with long irons, they are hard. It took me 10, 12 years to become comfortable with them. And I remember something over that winter break where I was just like, oh, that's all I have to do. And then it just shot me to that next little step, I guess.
We'll get to that offline. We were talking about my weakest part is my long iron, so now I feel better. We'll work on that next lesson.
It's the hardest thing for everybody, and a lot of it's just due to the way the clubs are designed and how they're required to be hit. The positions have to be nearly perfect.
So you mastered or improved the long irons from fall to spring, or was it the confidence, or both?
It's probably both. They go hand in hand. I mean, and golfers go through that a lot, especially really high level competitive golfers. It's like one day you feel like you should quit the game. The next day you feel like you can win the Masters. And so it's just how long can you keep that good feeling?
Yeah. I mean, this is why you're a great guest, because every time you say something about golf, I think of real estate. Like that's the life of a real estate agent as well. Sometimes you feel like you're the king of the world, and then other days you just want to quit. It happens to everybody.
I don't know that much about real estate other than you guys sell property, but I'm assuming that you guys go through phases where you're talking to 10 clients at a time, but you can't get anybody over that finish line. And then the next month, you just say hi to somebody and you're signing contracts next day. It's kind of, that's how golf is. It's like you feel like, I don't know how to, I'm going around my back to touch my elbow. And then the next day, you're just the best ball striker in the world.
Yeah. And I think like confidence has a lot to do with it. When you're confident, people feel that, your clients feel it, you feel good. And then I always say focus on the process, not the outcome. And I think that's really relevant for a golfer. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're out there one ball at a time, doing your setup the same way, your process, because real golfers have a process for every single shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you care? Yeah, you care where the ball goes. That's almost secondary to the process, isn't it?
It is secondary, and that's one of the hardest things is to keep those in order. It's very, very easy to put the outcome in front of the process, and that's a big killer for a lot of athletes, not just golf, but you go across the entire spectrum. If you start only caring about the outcome, the process is basically going to get deleted, and then the outcome is going to get shot in the foot.
So what's your approach to mental preparation?
There's a multitude of different types of mental game. It's one, like, how are you processing the course? How are you processing your anger? How are you going about your decision making? So you just have to have a grasp on what area you're struggling with. So like, let's say you just got done finishing a tournament and you only made bogeys because of missed clubs, not because of missed swings. Maybe you need to make better adjustments and better calculations. Let's say instead of that, you were making bogeys and doubles because of anger problems. Then, like in Happy Gilmore, you got to find your happy place. So there's different levels to the mental side of the game.
Okay. What do you say to a real estate agent who's got rejected 5 times? They've missed 5 listings, lost to somebody else. What do? They're angry.
If they're angry, I'd probably put them back in the course management case. And I would say before you get to the quote unquote course or the house, you should have it listed in which order you're showing them the house. Because every house is going to have a different feature that's going to attract somebody. So let's say the kitchen's phenomenal, but the bedrooms are just bland. Maybe you start off with the banger of a kitchen right off the bat, and then you say these need to be improved instead of going, oh yeah, these need to be improved, but if you can put up with these, then I'll show you the good stuff.
Yeah, so have a process.
I don't know that order.
Yeah.
I don't sell houses, but I would say how you organize your viewings.
How do you get over, I guess what I'm asking is rejection and like to make a golf analogy, just failure, just missing shots, missing the green. I keep failing at the goal and I'm pissed. How do you reset?
You can't be afraid to fail. I promise you, if you are afraid to fail, you will fail. You have to accept it as a thing. And because once you can accept it, you can let it go. But if you're terrified of failing, you will never get over it.
Okay. And then I think there's a lot of pressure on golfers and there's a lot of pressure on real estate agents. We are commission only. You got to perform. You got to win to eat. How, whether you're, in a college level event or a professional event, I mean, how are you dealing with that pressure and staying calm and focused?
You ever tried to breathe?
All day.
Okay. A lot of breathing practices, but again, it's one of the things I have my high level players do is when they get onto a hole, I want them to ask themselves, what's the easiest way to make the lowest number? So that keeps it broad. So I'm not asking you to make a par or a sell. I'm not asking you to make a birdie or bogey. I'm asking you, what's the easiest way to make the lowest number? Sometimes that's a bogey. Sometimes that's a hole in one. You don't know. And so if you start looking at it, what's the easiest way to make the lowest number? What's the easiest way to make the sell? Then you can work backwards. You can work from the house back to your client rather than your client to the house, or from the putting green back to the tee box rather than the tee box to the putting green. And when you can start seeing it in reverse, okay, I want to sell this to these people. Now you can start to see the steps in reverse on how to get them there rather than trying to force them into a sell.
Yeah. No, I get that analogy. Like think about the end
Mm-hmm.
result. Let's say is get a listing. Who's the seller?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to get there? Right? Is there a dog leg? Is there a hazard? Do I need to lay it up? Where I'm thinking is, okay, that seller is a very analytical person. Okay, let me back up. I need to be prepared with my data. I need to have the data presented. Now, let me back up and what data is relevant to this person, to their neighborhood. How long have they owned the home? And I think that's the course management analogy. It's like the client management
Mm-hmm.
because we're all people. Out there you're dealing with yourself basically and the elements in the course. But out in real estate, we're dealing with people and we need to manage our people, including ourselves as the player.
Absolutely. And we talked about this off camera last week, where you want to stay true to yourself and you want to stay true to your personality when you're dealing with people directly.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to talk to different people. So like when I'm coaching somebody like you, who's a very good athlete, we're going to stick in the athlete realm of explanations and it's going to work really well. If I get somebody that's not such an athlete or hasn't played very many sports before, we're going to go the slower, more mechanical route and we're going to make sure that positions are hit. And eventually, if you play long enough, there's some crossover. But if you take one technique and you try to spread it across every single person, it's not going to work.
Yeah, you immediately spoke my language the way you taught me how to swing a club, which now I realize is not how you teach everybody. But that was a brilliant coaching method. I think you looked at who's the client, what are his needs, what's his context, where's he coming from, and how do I coach to that person? Very relevant in any business, I think. Like who's my target audience and how do they want to hear information?
And it took a lot of practice. I wasn't good at it first.
At coaching and
it's because especially when you're at the top of your field, I think the one thing that gets lost is you forget that you're an expert and not everybody is. So if you only speak in the expert jargon or the expert terms and you expect them to perform perfectly right off the bat, it's just not going to happen. So again, you want to get them to that level, working backwards per client. How and what steps do you have to take?
Yeah. And for my agents out there, the jargon of the industry is everywhere. CMA, comps, etc. Like, don't talk like that to your clients. Don't assume they know what discount points are in a loan. Don't assume they know what appraisal contingency means. You want to be, you're an expert. You don't got to show it off and try to bewilder people. But, allow me to explain what an appraisal contingency is. Are you familiar with this process? Right? Information, exploring.
I do that all the time. I'll just be talking, trying to work through something, and I'll be like, whoa, hold on. I know that makes no sense to you. Let me try these different words. Because once you get used to it, you're going to find a way to explain the same thing 1,000 different ways. Once you find that trick, now you can sell.
Got me thinking on that one. Because there's only so many ways to swing a golf club, right? There's only so many choices, only so many clubs in the bag. You got to have a way to explain it differently to everybody. Mm-hmm. And people need to hear it in different ways for sure. I want to talk more about your routines. So I'm a big routine guy, pretty schedule oriented, but with some flexibility. And like, what's your daily routine, I guess, either as a player or as a coach and entrepreneur, and maybe seasonal routines you might have?
So my day to day, I'm a morning person, which also helps to be a golfer if you're a morning person. But I'm generally up in between 4 and 5 a.m. 3 days a week. You go to the gym on the way to the course, and then you do your thing. The other days, I go to the course at 5:30, 5:36 at the latest is when I'll get there. And I go through my book, and I know who I'm looking at that day, and I know where we left off. I've got a mental note or an actual physical note of where we left off. And so I've already kind of got an idea of how I'm going to work with every single person. Mm-hmm. But even when they get there, I always start with the question of either, how are you hitting it? How'd you play? What did you see that you need to be improved on, or what needs to be worked on? And then I'll take kind of my mental thought of where I was with that person and what they said. And depending on how far off they are, will vary from there.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, you're always taking care of yourself first, is what I heard in the beginning of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gym, maybe you're getting there early, swinging the club yourself,
Mhm.
perhaps in the morning. It's Brandon time, because you got to get yourself in that mind space, take care of your needs before you can help others, right? Put the mask on first, because it takes a lot of patience, I imagine, in your industry and in ours, dealing with people and what they got going on.
So like almost every single day, I'm at the course minimum 1 hour before my first client, if not 2. The days where I show up, where I'm getting out of the parking lot, running straight there to catch them with a couple minutes left, it feels like the whole lesson's rushed. I never really feel like I get the point across. So I've learned through the hard way of like, hey, get out of bed an hour earlier, take care of yourself, get to the place, get yourself settled in, then go about your day. Because just jumping out of bed, sprinting to the golf course to try to get it going, it doesn't work.
It's great advice. Advice I need to take. As you know, I show up to our lesson about 8:01 instead of 8 o'clock.
You're famous at 3 minutes late.
Good advice. I always say I do this podcast for me so I can learn advice. I hope somebody else picked up on that who perhaps likes to sleep the extra hour. Quick ask. If you haven't yet, hit follow or subscribe. It helps us grow and bring you even better content. Now, back to the episode. I want to break down the game of golf and the game of life and the complexity of both. You have a calmness about you. I think you have a good concept of the game, golf life, breaking these complex things down into little steps. So how can we as agents, golfers, people, like break down what we have to do? You were starting to go down that routine. I want to break it down even further. Like pretend this is a lesson and teach me an approach to breaking down a golf club, or maybe just breaking down my business plan for the year, my goals.
So I am a huge believer in the goals that you have to be written down. If you think about them, if you say them, if you pray about them, if you manifest about them, it's not enough. They have to be written down on a physical piece of paper, or I write mine in the mirror. So I take an expo marker and I treat myself as if I'm running a business, even though I am, and I kind of divvy my goals up, not only for yearly, but for the quarter. So every quarter I rewrite my goals on the mirror and I put a check mark by it every night if I accomplished it or not. When you have that sense of accountability to put a little tiny check mark on the mirror, holy crap, will you stay to it? Because it's so easy, especially, I'm 29 in Vegas. Do you know how easy it is to get distracted? To go do stupid stuff, right? I love this town. It's my home city, but distractions are quick to come here. And so when I write these things down, and some of them are lofty, some of them seem impossible, but they're not. It's one step at a time. It's one shot at a time. It's one hole at a time. It's one front nine at a time, right? Like both you and I, we're still on the front nines of our life. So even if you're 2 over right now, you go shoot 500 on the back, you'd be all right. But huge believer in writing goals down, whatever they are. Right now on my mirror, I think I have like 12 or 15 things written down that I have to put a check mark next to every single day.
Or be reminded that you didn't do anything that day.
And when I don't do it, I get pretty mad.
You're like, I can't go to bed.
It feels terrible.
Got to do the thing.
And it could be as simple as making your bed every day. It could be as simple as walking a mile every day. It could be as simple as calling 10 more people every day.
Yeah.
But if you took a brand new real estate agent and you told them each and every day you have to cold call or call 10 people, by the end of the year, that's 3,650 people.
You are good at math. I take back my earlier comment.
3,650 is a lot more than 0. And if you get there 10 people at a time, you can even do that on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy.
It's easy. Everybody listen to that. It's easy. I've been telling you that.
It's just, I think a lot of people want to sprint when all they have to do is walk.
Yeah. 10 calls a day.
What would it take you, 30 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, I go to the range now 1 day a week.
Wow.
And I have gotten so much better.
Imagine if you went 2.
Yeah. You know, I won't be twice as good though. it's diminishing returns. I mean, so yeah, you coach golfers to identify, I would say, and correct bad habits, myself included, before they become ingrained, which my habits are ingrained from childhood. I started playing golf probably before you. I think I was like 8 or 9,
Probably.
but I had 20 plus years of bad habits. How can a business owner spot and fix those habits like in life as they're happening?
If you want to go through the fixes yourself, you have to be able to separate. You really have to be able to pull back and see the bigger picture. Because when you're coaching, that's exactly what you're hired to do. You're hired to pull back and look at the bigger picture. When you're going through tough times yourself and you're trying to fix it yourself, you're always blaming something, or you've already got it preset in your mind that this is the problem. Bet you it's not. So if you're going to do it yourself, I really think you've got to be able to remove your ego, remove everything from the situation, look at the broader picture. That's how I coach myself. And it's tough.
So we're often holding ourselves back.
Yeah, it's really tough, because if you do find the courage to ask somebody to be like, hey, look at this, what could happen here? Generally speaking, they've got an idea on how to help you in like 3 seconds. And you've been pondering it for 2 months.
Right. And that's just the huge plus of coaching of any kind. Real estate coaching, golf coaching is just that third party neutral person that's just going to tell you how it is.
And you have to be able to do it yourself. It's a learned skill.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's brutal.
Yeah. I mean, you sometimes will film a swing and you're like, look, and I go, oh yeah.
Yep.
I see it now.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you saw. Thank you. And having a visual, having a recording was super helpful. And I liken it to, in my game script practice, just having another agent. All right, you be the buyer, I'll be the agent. Let's go over what to say. Yeah. And that other person's going to know exactly what you did wrong. And maybe you've been saying it that way your whole life. And in 30 seconds, they can correct it.
Yeah, immediately. And what'll happen a lot in golf, and I'm sure with real estate, like if you'll get in a deep, dark rabbit hole where you're blaming stuff on other people. Oh, I played with an annoying playing partner, or the weather conditions, or I just can't get this into my golf swing, or can't make the sell, blah, blah, blah. It's like, maybe that's not the problem. Maybe it's not.
You're talking about inner reflection, and like that takes a lot of courage. I think we all have egos, some bigger than others, and the ego prevents us from saying, maybe I am doing something wrong. And it finds things to blame.
And it's the old adage of where if you're surrounded by drama constantly, you're probably the drama.
Yeah. What's the common denominator?
Exactly. So if you're not making any sales, if you're not getting better at golf, and it's been a while and you're doing the same old thing, maybe there's a common denominator. Yep. And unfortunately, the deeper into that rabbit hole you get, the more blind you become.
Yeah.
And those were real tough self-talks I had to have with myself at a younger age. Fortunate enough, I was able to have some wise people in my life tell me to be like, dude, just look at it through a different lens.
Who taught you that?
Can't give you all my secrets.
Fair enough. But you did have mentors teach you that. Yeah. Common theme of the day, mentorship, coaching.
You got to have good people around you.
Yeah. Who, when they say something that maybe is painful or hurtful, you have to know that it comes from a place of love, like people you trust, that they're not saying it to chop you down. They're saying it to build you up. And you had those people.
Yeah. And I was fortunate enough to grow up with very caring parents that always shoved me in the correct direction. I know that's not the case for everybody. So I'm not going to put anybody down for not having that. But as you become an adult, you have the option to surround yourself by people.
Yeah. And I'm going to put it out here publicly. Anyone listening, comment now if you need some help, if you got some direction. Brandon too. Not everyone's as fortunate. And I know my purpose here is to try to help as many people as possible. So if there's something you're struggling with, let me know. We'll get on a phone call.
Absolutely. And my dad always told me growing up, he said, the 5 people that are closest to you, you're the average of them.
I love that quote because it's so real.
And that part hurts, right? Sometimes you grow out of certain friendships or certain businesses or ideas, and you just, again, it's working it backwards. Where do you want to be? And if you want to be there, who do you need to be around to be there?
Yeah. And those people are in your life for a reason and for a season. You know, things are always changing. You do not have to be the same person you were. You do not have to have the same group of friends. It doesn't mean you're not friends, but you have to surround yourself with those who are doing what you want to do and who are helping you achieve your goal. And that will always change because you're going to check that off the mirror one day. And those friends that help you get there, some will stay, some will go because you're going to have a new, bigger goal on the mirror. You mentioned you've got some big ones.
Yeah.
So do I. And I need to find those in my circle who's got those dreams on their board as well. Everyone that's gotten me where I am, I love you and we're still friends. But it's very true. Like if I'm spending all my time with you, I'm not going to get further. And that's just, everyone has to have that hard talk with themselves. And frankly, you don't have to have the talk with your friends. Like it's just organic. It happens. And often we worry people are going to talk about us or what they think about us. Do you ever deal with that?
Yeah. And that's something where you just got to get over, as stupid as that sounds. But people are going to talk about you. But the one thing that you can't confirm or deny is, are they going to talk good or bad? I bet you most of the time it's good. Yeah. But we only focus on the bad.
I also think they are talking about you far less than you think they are.
Yeah.
They have their own lives, their own problems, their own goals, their own worries. I think that we are too worried what other people think about us. Another good quote is, what other people think of me is none of my business.
Yeah.
So true. It's such a waste of brain space. That's the mind protecting itself, the ego protecting itself. Get over it, like you said.
Yeah, those thoughts suck and they're not fun to deal with, right? But it's just a part of life. Yep. You can't control what they're going to think anyways. And so if you know that you're on your course, your path to the goal that you wrote down, could care less what they're thinking about, because once you get there, you'll be surrounded by the people that you knew you were meant to be surrounded by.
Yeah. You're a local. What about this community? What's your future plans, I guess, to support, give back, grow your business, your town, yourself?
That's a deep one. I think about that one a lot. I'm a huge believer that there's room for every single person in the golf world. And so whether that is working more with local junior charities or putting out on Instagram when it's like Men's Mental Health Month, like, hey, I'm here at the course on Monday from these hours to these hours, show up if you need help, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's plans written on the mirror, but I was fortunate enough to be blessed with a following. I want to make sure that I use it appropriately.
Right on. Good for you, man. I love to hear that's part of it. Put you on the spot a little bit and you nailed it. I knew that about you. I mean, I want to know that's a huge goal. You don't have to share everything here, obviously, but you're well accomplished thus far. You're not even 30 years old yet. I mean, what about goals for your business and how do you plan on getting there?
I mean, top end goal as a coach would be to work with tour players, right? And there's a couple routes there. Maybe I get a call one day from one of them and they see my stuff online and I get to jump the line. Cool. I get to check that box earlier. Mm-hmm. Or maybe we are able to develop some of these juniors that are showing some pretty ridiculous promise and they get there. Whether I get there this year or in 10 years when they're of age to go play professionally, that's not for me to decide, right? That's just depending on if I make par, birdie on the hole. We'll find out. But through my business, my entire goal is to make sure that my fiance and future family have a sturdy foundation to stand on. So it's not to go be the most rich, well-known golf coach in the world. It's to make sure that I'm good enough at my profession to give my family a chance.
Right on. That's awesome. And that applies to all you real estate agents and entrepreneurs too. I couldn't agree more. You reach a certain level of success. It's wonderful. Fame, not that great for most people. It's all about your family and your foundation.
Yeah.
Why coaching? What is it about coaching that you love? There's a lot of ways to make money and build a foundation.
I don't know. I think it boils back down to luck. Got lucky. I was surrounded by the correct people. Some things happened, offered me a book, and then found out I was good at it. And if I couldn't play golf at the highest level, which is the most fun thing in the world to me. Like playing golf for fun, just going out there with your boys. It's all right. It's whatever. It's cool. Playing golf with your knees knocking on a 5-footer to make a cut to get a tour card, that's the stuff I live for. So the fact that I'm able to help people achieve a similar feeling, it selfishly brings a lot of joy.
You know the feeling.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I think I was just lucky enough to find a way to explain complex movements to your everyday person.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, I'll just share a quick story from this morning. That's really silly to a guy like you, but I do a drill, tees 10 foot from the hole in 4 directions on the putting green, right? And the goal is to make 7 out of 20. And I didn't do it the first time. And then I sunk 2 in a row to start. And that feeling I got was like, I can't.
So good.
Yeah, like I've never had that feeling before. And it was just me on the practice green, but I had never sunk 2 10-footers before. And I was just like, let's go. And it's like the best feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the game, just putting the ball in the hole. But I can only imagine on a high level with that pressure, 5-foot putt to get your tour card and like to make it, just wow. I think it's a culmination of all the work that goes into this. If we're still talking about golf or business or life, but like the little daily things you've done throughout your entire life since 10 years old, and that ball drops, like it just, the emotion swells, right?
Yeah. That's where it's like, and you see it all the time on the PGA Tour. When you get a first time winner, every single time they're bawling their eyes out. And it's just, I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Yeah. It's that's golf is so analogous, I think, for life and business.
That's why it's so addictive.
Yeah.
You hit one good ball, the next thing you're doing is playing golf for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, good luck.
So I know we've chatted a little bit, like you have a spiritual side to you.
Mm-hmm.
What is your practice as far as your connection to the spiritual side?
Casey and I, that's my fiance, recently found Jesus, I guess is the best way to say it, and a new home in City Light Church here in Las Vegas, which is the best thing that we've ever done. No matter what you do or no matter what your industry is, you're always going to find something to idolize. You're going to, whether it's money or fame or blah, blah, blah. And that's not what life's about. It's just not. And so we were fortunate enough to become a part of this community, to find Jesus together. And he is and forever will be the only idol in my life. Like, the money's going to come and go. Bad times, good times are going to come and go. But tell you what, dude never leaves. So
you have a core foundation of faith in a higher power.
Yes.
And I mean, I feel like that just makes, everything. I don't want to say the word insignificant. I know I sometimes speak that way and it sounds negative, inconsequential, all these words, talking with somebody walking on the trail the other day about, hey, the earth spun around 360 degrees today, and, a dark space that's massive. And, we're full of 1 trillion cells and we're just a speck of dust in this greater thing. And everyone's like, that's pretty sad. I go, oh, I think it's amazing. I think it's excellent. Like, so if I lose a deal, who cares? It doesn't matter. Yep. It's a blip on the map. I'm a blip on the map. So why don't we have fun, love each other, love ourselves, and be together and enjoy what we're here to do, whatever that may be in the short period of time. And when I say it's insignificant, I mean that you shouldn't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to try.
Well, and that's where I started not being afraid of posting online, because I'd literally chuck up a prayer and be like, what do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to do? And I just gave in. It was just like, okay, I'll do that. And then I just kind of started to understand that if it fails or if it does amazing, like, it's what the plan is. Yeah. You can't be afraid to do either. If you're afraid to do one, the other's going to happen.
Yep.
So,
yep. Yeah. There's just something about, I think, having a greater awareness of what we're here to do.
Yeah.
For yourself. Everyone is different. This is not a religious podcast. Not everyone has to find Jesus. Not everyone has to worship Krishna or the universe or Mother Earth, but find something in your life that gives you meaning and purpose that's bigger than you.
Mm-hmm.
I think whatever you do that. And no, I love your community involvement. We didn't talk about that beforehand. I just knew you were that guy, because there's people out there who don't know what you know, whether that's golf, real estate, or life, what you've been through. So just want to share that message. Thanks for inspiring me to do that. Is there anything else you feel you should tell our audience? Anything I didn't ask you?
No, regardless of what field they're in, I just tell them, don't be afraid to try. Give it a try. And if it doesn't work, don't be afraid to try again. And if that doesn't work, don't be afraid to try 5 more times. I lost a lot more golf tournaments than I ever won. And I made it pretty far. If you're just willing to give it a go, you'll get somewhere.
Perfect. Love it. We're going to segue now into Quickfire Wisdom. Same 5 questions I ask every guest. What's one habit you've developed that's made the biggest difference in your day-to-day life?
Learn to get up early.
Learn to get up early.
Learn to get up early. You would be unbelievably surprised how much stuff you can get done between 5 and 7 a.m. when it's just you by yourself.
Perfect. Do you have a favorite quote or mantra that you live by?
Not necessarily.
I think you kind of said it a moment ago. Just try.
Just try.
It felt like a good mantra.
That's probably what I would lean to. The biggest one would probably be keep going. Keep going has a little bit deeper meaning to me.
Keep going.
Just keep going.
Which book has played a significant role in your life?
On the golf course, Jim Hardy's Plain Truth. In life, Bible.
Second person to pick that book. What is your favorite app or tool you use for productivity?
Probably my swing app, where I measure all your stuff.
Okay. Tell us how it works for those who are curious.
It's just an app where I can draw lines on a video, and it takes it way down, super slow motion, like twice as slow as what the iPhone does, and I can really see all the intricacies of what's going on in the swing and actually measure them, because you got to be able to pass the eye test and the video test. So when you're passing the eye test, I like to take the video to make sure there's not something that's sneaking in there.
Got it. So that's your secret weapon in coaching.
Yeah.
And then lastly, what's your go-to way to unwind after a long day?
Honestly, probably just watch TV. that's about it.
That's the downside of getting up so early. You're exhausted.
By about 8 p.m., I've got my phone or my laptop in my hand. That's when I'm editing videos, and I just become a couch potato for the last hour and just got like mindless TV in the background. Then normally in bed and asleep by like 9:30.
So you're unwinding by working.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to work on that.
I know it's a problem, but it is what it is.
Continuous improvement.
Yeah.
Well, it's great chatting with you. Thanks for coming on The Mindful Agent.
Absolutely.
As we wrap up this conversation with Coach Bauman, let's take a mindful pause together. Think about the last bad shot you took in your business or life. Maybe it was losing a deal, hearing no from a client, or simply falling short of your own expectations. Just like in golf, those moments don't define you. They're part of the process. Close your eyes if you can. Take one slow breath in and one long breath out. Now, imagine yourself standing over the ball on the tee box. Instead of worrying about the outcome, bring your attention to the process, your stance, your breath, your focus. In real estate, in entrepreneurship, in life, it's the same. Success comes from showing up one swing at a time, one call at a time, one step at a time. As Brandon reminded us, don't be afraid to try. don't be afraid to fail. And above all, keep going. Thanks for joining me on this journey today. I'm Michael Coxen, and this is The Mindful Agent. Join me next time as we continue to explore the intersection of real estate, health, and mindfulness. Looking to grow your real estate career? At Magenta Real Estate, we put you first. Our entire business is built around your well-being and your success. With 100% commission, powerful marketing tools, and a supportive community that truly cares. Success starts within. Visit joinmagenta.realestate today.